You are listening and watching to a very special podcast. All right, we're going to continue where we left off in Maggie Wolfe's point of view. Enjoy. Maggie was interrogating one of the guards. The guards were trying to hit on her, but she knew that they had such pervy eyes and she wasn't playing any games. Listen, you better confess right now what you were thinking. She managed to get really scary, so the guards whimpered at the sight of her, and then they confessed how the boss, their boss, wanted to have girls for the need of a thrill. Abusing the girls, harming them, making them do these awful acts. That made Maggie really upset, and it looks like one of the guards were actually enjoying her suffering, how vulnerable she looked. But Maggie wasn't going to look vulnerable in front of these guys. The guards were up in trial, where they were found guilty for the crime. The guards tried to protest that it was all the girls' fault for doing all of this. But according to the MPD, that wasn't going to happen. That did not happen for these girls. As those that were involved in that brothel were being led away, they cried out obscure and yet inappropriate comments about the girls, saying they weren't victims and they were to suffer. They were nothing more than their little hookers, but they were just sent out. In the meantime, Mia and the rest of the girls managed to found reconciled with Barrere, Chloe, and other of their teammates. However, Barrere and the others had a sense of compassion for these girls. Mia seemed a bit vulnerable, but she acts tough herself. But things got a little bit out of hand when there was a lot of disasters going on that were near towards Maggie. Maggie and the others managed to visit some sort of self-defense program. There they met Quarantine. Quarantine was a very nice young lady. She was known to be a very gentle woman, a single mom who wasn't married, but she worked very hard to support her kids. One oldest son and two adorable little daughters. Her kids managed to help out at the self-defense center. Quarantine was giving Maggie and the others the tour. I see you notice that we have a lot of students who are very, very determined, she said. Yeah, I can see why, Maggie said with amazement. I can see from that girl over there. Oh, you know her? Yeah, that's Iris. Yes. Then Quarantine said, now feast your eyes on this prized, wonderful student that I refer to her. Which one? The guy? The other one, the opponent. That one with the ponytail. Maggie watched and looked surprised as this girl was very swift, very agile, very adequate. After she managed to do the self-defense technique, she bowed in respect, but when she noticed Maggie and the rest, she bowed to them in respect, looked up, and smiled shyly a little bit. That, my friends, is Rory Lee. Gorgeous, isn't she? Wow, she's got a really cute face. Yeah, she sure does. Then she looked down and said, excuse me, Maggie, I'm a little bit undone. Would you mind? Yeah, sure. However, one of the students came up and looked over. It was none other than Brianka. Bianca looked over at Maggie with a disgusted look. Then she spoke. "Hey, who are you supposed to be?" Quarantine looked up. "Ah, Bianca, I want you to meet Maggie Wolfe." "Hi, nice to meet you." "This is Maggie Wolfe? Oh, please. I thought she would be more of a dangerous redhead." "Nice outfit, by the way. Trying to lure all the boys to your ass?" "Excuse me?" "Bianca," Quarantine said. "Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not her fault that she has to look so grand." "Oh my god. It's so hilarious. I can't believe you would come around here. You don't even look like an agent. Well, an agent in skinny dip type," she said while laughing. However, something nearly fell on Bianca. Sting cried out, "Look out!" Bianca looked up and she screamed. Luckily, other students managed to drag her away before the thing fell on her. Bianca was kicking and screaming and freaking out. One of the students whispered, "It's him, Red Death. Oh my god, it really was him." And Bianca had to go and mock Maggie. "What?" Maggie said. "What the heck are they talking about?" "I don't know. Red Death? One of the teachers looked up and cried out, "Hey, what's going on up there?" One of the staff members managed to say, "Oh, I wasn't there. I honestly wasn't. As you can see, I had to take a bathroom break, so I wasn't at my post. I apologize." Bianca was crying like a drama queen. However, a letter dropped. Quarantine was the only one that noticed. She picked up the letter and looked it over. Her eyes widened, knowing who it was. Bianca was throwing a fit, blaming Maggie for it. Maggie claimed, "Hold on, it wasn't me. I was here the entire time. I didn't even do anything." "Oh, sure, like you haven't. I'm gonna get you for this, Maggie Wolfe. Just you wait." Then she stormed out. Maggie rolled her eyes. "I'm sure she's gonna get over it, right? She is coming back, right?" But one of the teachers who called out was just shrugging in anger. When Quarantine said, "Do you really think so?" Then she held up the letter. "Everyone, I have a message from Red Death." Everyone gasped, knowing this name, but the teacher rolled his eyes. "Oh, for heaven's sake, Quarantine. Every one of you is obsessed with this Red Death." She says from the letter saying, "Red Death welcomes Maggie and the others to his dojo." Maggie gasped. "His dojo?" "Yes, he owns these dojos, especially alongside this one by the name of Brody. I'm sure maybe you know him." "No, I don't know these people." "How?" "Well, anyway. And he instructs that Bishamon and her regalia are to be kept safe at all times," she said. Bishamon was taken aback. Me? He knows me? How in the world?" she started to say. "Oh, and by the way, his salary is due." One of the children from Bishamon's regalia stepped forward. "You mean he has a salary?" she asked the little girl. Quarantine nodded. "Yep. His landlord gives him about 1,000 or trillion more." Everyone gasped. "1 trillion? Let me see that," Maggie said, taking the letter and read it over. "Salary? He makes 1 trillion? How?" "Well, this boy Brody is he pays him that kind of money." "Is this Brody guy rich or something?" "Why, yes. You mean you don't know who it is? One of the students said. You don't know who this guy? No, said Maggie. His name is Brody Santos. He's the richest guy in the world. Yeah, no joke. And he's so incredibly cute. I mean, he may have really pretty blonde hair and he may be like fair-skinned, but he was born from a long line of different families. And also, he's got a lot of servants. He's actually a prince. No way. He's definitely a rich kid. Oh, come on, you guys. Maybe he's a little bit of both. Maybe he is rich and somehow maybe one of his parents were brought into royalty. I don't know. Royalty sounds a bit too much. It just sounds so crazy. Can you even believe this kind of stuff? Maggie toned out from the others and looked over at Stan Rogue. I don't know who this Red Death is, but I got a bad feeling he's onto my case somehow. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Stay tuned. We got more coming your way. I'm Catherine Donovan. I'll see you next time.